The WIBC Queen's title is one of the most honored and respected titles in professional bowling and has been captured by some of the greatest women bowlers in history. Tonight, a new champion will leave wearing the coveted tiara. Who will it be? Find out next. Tonight's show are a pair of veterans qualifying 5th, 7-time titleist Kym Tyrell. And in the top seed position, 4-time runner-up to Player of the Year, Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard. They hold together 3 books yet to be read, qualifying 4th, fresh out of college, amateur Robyn Crawford. In the 3rd position, the 98 AMF World Cup champ, Maxine Nable. And holding the number 2 spot in her first event as a pro, Kulick. WPA begins a 12-week tour in Sunrise, Florida, just outside of Fort Lauderdale, where you'll find the beautiful Los Olas riverfront with specialty shops, dining, and entertainment. Welcome inside Sawgrass Lanes for the finals of the 2001 WIBC Queens Tournament. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt, and I'm so glad you joined us for the start of the PWBA season. We begin with an event rich in heritage, one of the most prestigious on the PWBA schedule. It's run for 41 consecutive years. It's a double elimination format. 5 players have survived, 4 with 1 loss, and of course our top seed, she's undefeated. She'll have 2 opportunities tonight. At my side for this special event is my partner, Kathy Dorn Lizzie, recently wed. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Jan.
Kathy, will it be tough for the players to begin with such a big event and a major like the Queens?
Well, yes and no, Jan. The ladies are just coming off of a 5-month break, and they are more than ready to get started and bowl competitively. But for the touring players, there's still 11 weeks left to go, and that could take its toll on some of the ladies. This is a long week, the formats are different, and it really forced the ladies to stay on top of their mental and physical game.
We'll see in the next few weeks if it does take a toll. One of the players that will not be affected because she won't be bowling is our number 4 seed. She's the Alberta E-Crow Star of Tomorrow award recipient in 2000, Robyn Crawford.
Well, our only amateur to make the telecast, 21 years old, fresh out of college, told us last night in her interview she was not nervous at all during the week, but I think because of her lack of experience and lack of understanding what she's in for tonight, I think we might get a little bit of a wake-up call from those nerves.
Well, on the flip side, our top seed, Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard, is well aware of the importance of this event and is probably putting too much pressure on herself. Kathy, how about her nerves?
Well, no one knows more about nerves than Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard. She will tell you herself that she is nervous every frame of every game, but that motivates her. It keeps her focused. It keeps her tough. She led this tournament in 1995, finished 2nd. This is the prestigious event. It's a major. It's one we all want on our resumes, and Carolyn will stop at nothing until she gets that crown.
Well, we'll find out in an hour if she does get it. Right now, let's get to the first match. Crawford will be joined by Terrell and Nable. Opening handshake. Rounds of 3, and we are ready for the 2001 WIBC Queens. Kathy, it's so great to have you with us here.
It's so great to be here. It's been a long week.
The first match, as always, if you were with us last year, 3 players in this match. Only the top score will advance. Maxine Nable, first look at her, coming up light, leaving the 2-5.
This is only Maxine's 3rd Queens. She bowled fantastic yesterday.
And there's a look at Robyn Crawford, as you mentioned, an amateur just graduated just a couple of weeks ago.
She doesn't appear to be nervous.
No, she sure doesn't. Maxine Nable shooting the spare. She changed balls there, Kathy.
Throwing a plastic ball. Maxine also told us she worked very hard on her spare game over the break. She wasn't pleased with how she performed last year and definitely said she saw the improvement this week.
Kym Tyrell from Daly City, California. You have a look at her strengths, adjusting to conditions and weaknesses, confidence level.
Yeah, she is just beautiful to watch.
She knows how to move as conditions change. She knows what ball. There were a lot of things she's good at adjusting to besides just the lane condition.
Yeah, she adjusts her surfaces, her equipment, really pays attention. Very smart bowler.
That being Kym Tyrell. Now we're looking at Maxine Nable again up in the 2nd frame.
Great shot.
4-pin, almost a 410. She almost had a bad break on that shot.
Maxine really throws a heater. She throws a lot of power.
Kym Tyrell also changing to shooter spares, changing balls for the left side spares as well. Now, do you change balls for left and right side spares, Kathy? Or?
I throw a plastic ball at every spare except any spare that has double wood.
Right, because and the reason you wouldn't use it on double wood?
I feel because it deflects. Most women don't throw it hard enough that the plastic ball will stay on target.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Robyn Crawford now up in the second frame, and she, as you said, did not have nerves, and there may be a little indication of nerves.
Welcome to the Queens. Another look at Kym Tyrell in 26.
Kym always does well at this event.
Yes, she made the show last year in Reno. Trips the forward pin.
John Badiato and his staff at Maplewood Lanes in Omaha, Nebraska host the Lady Pros from May 20th through the 24th for the Miller High Life Open. Then the PWBA heads to Southwest for the Albuquerque Open May 27th through the 31st at Silva Lanes of Albuquerque. And then on to Mesa for the Wheelchair Awareness Classic at Country Club Lanes in Mesa, Arizona, June 2 through June 7. Contact those centers for Pro-Am and tournament information, and be sure to come out and watch the greatest women bowlers in the world. You will not be disappointed. You'll have a great time. Pro-Am's always enjoyable. Kathy, do you like bowling the Pro-Ams?
I love bowling the Pro-Ams. You get to meet so many people, and actually you can, we learn a tip here and there from somebody.
As you can see, Robyn Crawford, flawless through 2 frames, although she did break in that second frame. Maxine Nable now with her first strike. Robyn Crawford will step up, and as she does, I need to mention right off the bat, once again, a $50,000 bonus award for any woman that shoots a 300 on television, presented by Travelodge.
Oh, excellent. Wouldn't that be nice?
Ooh.
You came up a little high on that one.
Now that's an interesting spare for a right-hander to leave.
Yeah, if I were her, I'd probably just go for the wood, get the pins. You don't see that every day.
Kym Tyrell, as you were talking about, strong in this event. 3rd last year, but she's hoping to go farther this year in the Queens.
Yeah, she's got some really big goals for herself this year. Wants to win at least twice. Feels a little underachieved, but with 7 titles and what a great bowler, it's hard to believe.
That's Kym Tyrell, and that was in her weakness on the bio listed confidence level, and we would expect her to have more confidence than she does.
Absolutely. Just look at her. I mean, she's flawless when you just look at her. Smart bowler, great bowler. Knows the right moves. Makes the spare. Maxine now working on a strike. Boy, can she scatter the pins.
As you can see, Maxine Nable in the lead. As she doubles. And just so you know, we are using a little bit different scoring this year because the professionals typically strike, or we want to assume they'll strike. So all of our plus or minuses, if you're looking at home and saying, wait a minute, that's not right, pluses or minuses are judged off of a 300 game, assuming that that bowler up there will continue to strike.
Yes.
As opposed to the par 20 per frame that we used to use.
Right.
Because these are the elite and the best athletes in the world.
That's right. What you see is the best right here. Solid 10 pin by Robyn. Beautiful shot though. Now Kym coming up a little bit high. That was the tricky thing about the condition this week. You really had to wait for them to play to you. Sometimes you had to just ride through the transition until you got comfortable.
So by transition, you're meaning the conditioner moving and changing and causing you to have to change lines or change equipment.
Yeah, some girls even said that they had to make major moves. Couldn't just move 1 or 2 boards. It had to be maybe 6 or 7 boards. And Kym converts the spare.
Well, we'll be right back with more action from Sawgrass Lanes through 4 frames. Maxine Nable is your leader. Stay with us. Welcome back to the WIBC Queens event. While we were away, Maxine Nable, difficulty with 10 pins, 3 of them in a row, and open for Robyn Crawford. Kym Tyrell, strike, spare, strike. Kym Tyrell actually leads by 2 pins now because she will be able to strike out for more than Maxine Nable. Maxine working on a spare here in the 7th frame.
Oh, finally kicks the 10 pin out. Great shot.
And that's exactly what we saw during the break, except the 10 did not fall.
No. And that's all the entry angle into the pocket on this type of condition.
Robyn Crawford keeping herself in this match, and she looks awfully tough.
She really does. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. She's keeping her word. She's not nervous, or she's hiding it very well.
Well, as we mentioned, Kym Tyrell has been working a lot on her game. She's been working on visualization. She wanted to thank Rod Ross, her ball jeweler and coach, for all the work he's done with her.
Yes. She really enjoys working with him.
So Kym Tyrell maintains a 2-pin lead with that strike. And
Another
again,
10-pin for Maxine.
Okay, Kathy, 4 out of 5 10-pins. Would you make a change?
I probably would make a little move, either ball speed, because Maxine does throw it hard. She might want to soften up just a hair, or maybe just move a board, either right or left, whichever she feels she could enter the pocket a little different, kick it out, because she's right there.
Light hit for Robyn Crawford. You saw that 5-pin bowling. She bowled in Canada. She's from Canada and bowled for 10 years, the 5-pin bowling. So they're really big pins.
Yes, and you get 3 shots. I could have used 3 this week.
You and I both. Attempts to convert the split.
And she gets it. Very good concentration. Keeping herself in the game.
Robyn Crawford actually on Team Canada. Meanwhile, Kym Tyrell steps up, and she can increase her lead here with 1 more strike.
Another great shot by Kym. Her 10 pins look exactly like Maxine's. Probably because the condition's still fairly fresh. May change a little, though, as they go on.
So as the condition changes, the players will get a little different angle into the pocket?
Yeah, I think they might have to, because they may have to make little adjustments, either left or right with their feet, or ball speed, even surfaces. Solid right in the pocket. That's a ring 10.
That was Kym Tyrell's last shot. We were showing you how the 6-pin wrapped around the 10.
Makes it no problem.
Spare shooting a big part of the game this week because conditions were challenging.
Absolutely. You could always maybe find 1 or 2 strikes, but you had to make your spares to stay in it. A lot of matches were close and they weren't high scoring.
Now that was not the way I would have chose to pick that spare up.
No.
She didn't mean to do it that way, but it worked nonetheless.
That's right. Oh, and a Brooklyn for Robyn. Keeps her in the match.
Big Brooklyn shot there. Although Maxine Nable with a strike here would shoot 203, the best Robyn Crawford could shoot would be 198.
It'll all be up to Kym Tyrell.
That count could hurt her.
Yep. Looks like she slowed up just a little bit on that one.
200 on the nose for Maxine Nable. Kym Tyrell will need a mark.
Well, Robyn made an impressive showing here today. She has everything to be proud of.
And she actually she graduated from Morehead State in business management, and she wants a job in the bowling industry, particularly with youth. So if anyone out there is looking for someone, hey, Robyn may be your person.
Give her a call. She said she wants to give back to YABA, which she felt she got in her opportunities.
Kym Tyrell needing a mark.
Great shot. And she gets it. Perfect. Couldn't have thrown that any better.
She's glancing over to see the score. Robyn Crawford, what a great performance, and a delightful young lady.
Yes. Adorable to talk to, very bright. I think we'll be seeing more of her.
She said, being Robyn, she said she's going to look into the Pro Tour maybe in 6 or 7 years, but really wanted a career within the bowling industry first.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad she went to college. College is so important. She bowled in college, got a great degree. That's really the way to go.
And Kym Tyrell, the spokesperson right now for collegiate bowling.
Yes, travels around, gives great speeches.
So Kym Tyrell will move on. But first, when we return, we'll tell you what senior is wearing the tiara right now. Don't go away. Final score of match 1, Kym Tyrell 217 to Nable's 200 and Crawford's 188. Kym Tyrell now faces the hot rookie prospect Kelly Kulick in just a moment. Boy, maybe our conditions this week were not that tough. This is how they enjoy bowling in the Fort Lauderdale area outdoors. Underwater bowling. They have a few more obstacles than we have out here on the lanes. Indoors, we're ready for the semifinal match of the WIBC Queens event. Kym Tyrell has advanced, and she will face Kelly Kulick. A look at how Kym has been doing.
2 strikes on lane 25, 5 strikes on lane 26. She really bowled a solid game.
Likes 26 a little better, but that included 3 strikes in the 10th frame.
She's still ready to go. She wants that title.
She does, and I mentioned at the top of the show, and I want to reference that the top seed gets 2 opportunities because it's double elimination. If the top seed loses the first match, which would be Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard, she would have to be defeated a second time.
That's right. Carolyn is the only one that hasn't lost out of everybody, so she gets to lose twice.
Kelly Kulick, her strengths, focus, and concentration, and her weakness, lack of pro experience.
But you'd never know it.
No, not today, but, you know, it's tough week to week on the Pro Tour.
She led the U.S. Open last year, finished second. Phenomenal appearance last year. And here she is again. But you're right, week to week, it's a different type of grind.
It is, and when it's your living you're bowling for, it's much different.
Some bills get paid, some don't.
Yours are all paid, right?
Of course.
Taking a little time, a little bit of a breath there.
She's very matured for a non-experienced bowler bowling with the pros.
Well, she has a wealth of amateur experience.
Well, she said in her interview yesterday she's won everything there is to win practically in amateur, and she wants to go to the next level, and here she is.
This is her first event, as we said, as a professional. Just joined. Both players started striking, so a reminder once again, that 300 award. I'd love to see somebody get $50,000 today in the opening event from Travelodge.
I would too.
Ooh.
Not too good of a shot there. Right lane seems to be breaking down a little bit. Maxine went high on the right lane. Kym, 4-step delivery, pushes out on the first step. Very loose arm swing, perfect body position. Very low into the slide. So smooth. Perfect.
You're right. That's sweet to watch.
It is. She's just beautiful to watch.
Well, Kym told us about why she has success in this event.
I think the reason I've had success in this tournament is a lot of the fact that if you lose, you're out. And that seems to really keep me very motivated and aggressive and somehow this, urgency that goes on that I seem to just have a lot of success with.
And that helps her, in my opinion, my personal opinion. She's great at team and doubles events, and she gets pumped in those. And I think the, as she said, urgency of losing and being out pumps her the same way that team event does.
She doesn't want to lose. She wants to stay in. It also helped bowling with teams in college. I think that really gave a lot of girls the base to come out. And then when you're on your own, you still carry that with you mentally.
Because I know Kym struggled for a period of time getting to that same energy level when she bowled by herself.
Yeah. Well, you do that for 4 years, and it's intense. When you have 4 other people counting on you, patting you on the back, constantly reassuring you that it's okay and that you're great, you're out on your own. You have to do a little of mental adjusting.
Well, you have experience in that. You bowled collegiate.
And I absolutely loved it.
Covers up the 610. Fortunate. She thought she was going to top that for a second.
Let's take a look at Kelly's road to success. She had some really nice matches. She beat Robyn Crawford and Carolyn, Dorin, Ballard, 6-13, 6-68.
She lost to Carolyn.
Carolyn,
for that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But she averaged 214 for match play, so that's a pretty respectable score.
She had an outstanding day yesterday.
For those of you that don't know how the Queens works, there's 10 games of qualifying, 362 entrants. They then cut to the top 25%, which was approximately 90, and then they build 5 more games, and then from there they cut to the top 64 as we look at the maximum score possible for both of these ladies at this point in the match. Obviously, Kelly Kulick, 300. She hasn't missed a strike yet. Kym Tyrell, 268. After they're cut to 64, Kathy, then we went into match play.
And then it was double elimination. You were allowed to lose twice. Once you lost your first match, you went into the contenders bracket, where then you couldn't lose, which is what Kym Tyrell did. She won all her matches to get to tonight. She bowled 32 games between Wednesday and Thursday, plus the qualifying games, which were 15 more games. So Kym really earned her way.
She did, and those matches, just so they understand, were 3-game matches.
Yes.
Total series, 3-game.
Yes.
So they're long, and it used to be 4 games. They cut it back. But I was in that contenders bracket also, as were you, and it's a long process.
It is. If you're going to lose, lose as late as you possibly can.
Ooh, that was close.
That was close.
Kelly Kulick has the lead in the semifinal match, and we'll see if she can close it out right after this. There are the beautiful flamingos of Florida, as much a part of Florida as oranges. Inside, O.J. McDuffie of the Miami Dolphins and Kajana Carter of the Cincinnati Bengals on hand here to watch this bowling event. Big bowling fans.
Yeah, nice to see those guys come out and support us.
Kelly Kulick in the lead, doubled while we were away, and continues to strike. Kym Tyrell left a bucket, spared it, and a strike in the 7th. So Kelly Kulick leads now by 44 pins.
And I still think the right lane is starting to break down a little bit, although that was the lane Kym left the bucket. But I think she's going through maybe a little transition.
Well, maybe she moved, assuming breakdown, and moved too much.
Yeah, because she did go high a few times in the first match.
So as they break down right now, their move would be, what would you expect it to be?
Well, you know, it's funny because statistically your move would be left if you come up high. But on this pattern, a lot of girls moved right because the further you moved left, you had more hook. Some girls wanted to move right to stay away from the hook. So it really is your preference on where you were more successful. To me, it looks like Kelly's moving in.
Big
Another
strike.
great shot.
Yeah, big strike by Kelly Kulick. Lead did not change there because we expect Kym Tyrell to step up and strike also. Record holder for the highest scoring match, 300 to 300 versus Michelle Feldman. That was at the Pollard Carter Classic.
Unbelievable.
That was right nearby in Davie, Florida here.
Michelle Feldman loves those 300s.
She does. That was an exciting match.
That was a great shot by Kym on the right lane. Way to come back. Puts a little pressure. At least she's holding her own. Anything can happen.
299 this week. She was so proud of that game. She threw a great game, left a 10-pin in the 10th, but the important thing, she needed that to win that match. 640 to 622 against Tennille Grijalva. Kym's first 2 games, 156, 185, and then pops a 299.
That is a definite example of the mental toughness of the girls that do this day in and day out.
Can always come back, always adjust.
Her ball jumps just a little bit high, right on the nose. Lucky for her, the 7-pin gets tapped out, so she only has the 10-pin to shoot at. This should be an easy spare, and it is. She's still trailing. It's one thing about Kelly, though. She can say she has a lack of pro experience, but you'd never know it by her performance. I mean, when she's hot, she's hot.
I haven't seen the other finishes. I don't even have a
1999 and 2000 Storm BWAA Amateur Bowler of the Year. This young lady has some amateur statistics. She's done it all. Great shot. Oh. Got a little lucky there and tripped the 2-pin. Now this is the lane that I feel is hooking more. She gets it really nice down the lane, but it pushed a little right there. Comes up a little light, and then she rolls the 2 for a 5-bagger.
Talked about some of the other finishers. There's a look. Tammy Boomershine, Michelle Feldman, you mentioned all those 300 games. Brendan Norman in the truck doing some scoring for us. Sarah Yap from Malaysia out for this event. A lot of countries represented this week.
And what a great game on that young lady. Kelly trying for 6 in a row. Well, comes up a little high and leaves the 3-pin. Beautiful game.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point.
No.
The most Kym Tyrell could shoot would be 213. Kelly already well beyond that. So her weakness or lack of experience doesn't seem to be affecting her here.
Not at all. I think she might have been pulling our leg, Jan. Well, Kym looked terrific. She bowled fantastic all week. She shot some scores last night. She has 23 other opportunities to win her 2 titles. She'll get them.
Well, she just wanted to start making more shows. She felt she hadn't made enough shows to give herself the opportunity to win.
And I agree. Just watching her bowl, she's flawless. She really is. But I think she's on a great start to a very successful year. She looks great out there. I wouldn't doubt if we didn't see her next week either.
Okay.
And I hope to be right out there with her.
You know, this is only your first show. You really shouldn't leave me already. Kelly Kulick, big game. 256, beautiful game. Kym Tyrell finishes up in 3rd position for $8,000. But it is Kelly Kulick who wins the semifinal match. When we return, we'll recap tonight's matches. Welcome back to Florida. Again, we're in the Fort Lauderdale area, Sunrise to be specific. So far tonight in match 1, it was veteran Kym Tyrell showing her experience, striking in the 10th when she needed it to end the hopes of Nable and Crawford, 217 to 200 and 188. In match 2, first-time pro Kelly Kulick looked like a veteran. The heck with experience, she defeats Terrell 256 to 185. Coming up next, rookie Kelly Kulick will have to defeat 10-time titleist Carolyn Dorn Ballard twice for the crown. Flashback to May of 2000. Last year, Wendy McPherson needed a strike to shut out Marianne DeRupo in the Queens. And she gets it for her 2nd Queens title and crown. Defeats Marianne DeRupo 227 to 202. Which lady will it be this year? Carolyn Dorn Ballard or Kelly Kulick? Carolyn Dorn Ballard as the top seed. As we said earlier, if she would lose this match, they will bowl another match. There's a look at her strengths, accuracy, and mental toughness. Weakness, pressures herself.
Yes, she does. People wouldn't think that, but she does put a lot of pressure on herself, and I think a lot of that has to do with 4 years in a row of being runner-up bowler of the year. You expect a lot out of yourself.
I can't imagine being runner-up 4 years in a row.
I could only imagine.
Well, that's better.
But that's also something to be very proud of. If you can do something like that consistently 4 years in a row, that's something to be proud of.
Kelly Kulick, first event as a professional, and she definitely looks like the veteran. National Collegiate Team champion for Morehead State University.
Right lane again, coming up a little bit high. We also found out with her weakness, besides the lack of pro experience, but her strength, focus and concentration, and she shows that. Every match she bowls, she's very, very focused. You don't really see her talking or going off to the side. She really stays within herself. That definitely has a lot to do with why she's so talented.
Also talked a bit about her leg strength.
Oh, she's a very strong young lady.
Well, she wanted to be a pro, but how long has Kelly Kulick wanted to be a pro?
My 5th grade teacher, Miss Hoffman, took a poll one day and asked all the students what they would like to be when they grew up. And in 5th grade, I knew back then that I wanted to be a pro bowler. So right underneath my 5th grade picture, it says Kelly Kulick, pro bowler.
We need a copy of that picture, and we need to put it on air. It was certainly accurate.
I wish she had told us that sooner. I could have called her mother and told her to bring the photo. That would have been great. What a great story.
Oh, and high again. A tough break, 4-7-10.
Now, that didn't look too bad, but right at the end.
Last second.
This condition was very unforgiving, first of all, but as you can see right there at the end, takes a little jump. Now she has the 4-7-10 to contend with. But did you notice that also? The lanes were unforgiving. And even when you thought you threw a pretty good shot,
right,
you had to really adjust yourself.
Very tough. And
yes.
Pair to pair. And,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Well, let's do it all in our first event. Don't mess around. Just get right out there. Pick up the 4-7-10.
Picture perfect, slides it right over. And watch her reaction. Do I have it? Yes. She's not going down easy.
No, she's not. And she's sitting there right now, I think, going, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Meanwhile, Carolyn Dorn Ballard opened with a strike and a little light, leaving a 7-pin.
Which is good, because that's the more hooking lane. So light is good. Picks up her plastic ball. Another girl, the majority of the girls throw plastic balls at their spares, which I think is a great tip for an up-and-coming professional.
Aye. Oh my. I could see that halfway down the lane. It was starting to back off. It actually backed up.
Yeah, hit the conditioner, slid right by it. Now from that angle, it looks perfect.
Thought she had it all the way.
But right there, just keeps going. Hits the oil and just keeps sliding. She can't believe it.
And that's what happens when you use the plastic ball, so you don't get a lot of hook, but you expect it to continue to go in the same direction and not hit a block and back off.
Well, at least the plastic ball, the moral behind that is you know where it's going straight. And that's Carolyn, comes right back with a strike. Now, Jan, you and Carolyn have something in common. You've both been Queen's tournament leader, undefeated. Yes. What is she thinking? What were you thinking?
Well, when I did it, I didn't have the luxury of having 2 times to lose. I had to win that time, and I was thinking, quite frankly, this may be my only chance, so I better win. And as it turned out, it was, so good thing I did.
But you bowled fantastic that year, and that was 1993, Baton Rouge.
Well, Carolyn is just thinking, get it over with now, actually. She doesn't want to go to that second game, though.
And I don't blame her. I don't think Kelly does either, though. Well, she would have to.
She would have to, either way.
Kelly has the, well, let's see. What does she have? The lane's going crazy.
She had a 6-10, and apparently the machine didn't like it, so it just swept it, decided to keep on going.
Unfortunately, she has to shoot at it.
Well, while they're trying to take care of the equipment problems, we're going to leave. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We're in that championship match. Well, Kym Adler looks to defend her title as the PWBA brings you the finals of the St. Clair Classic next Monday night at 9 p.m. from St. Clair Bowl in Fairview Heights, Illinois. ESPN2 is the home of the best in professional women's bowling for the next 12 weeks, so be sure to check the PWBA website for dates and times. That's www.pwba.com, or check your local listing. They'll help you out. Kelly Kulick now leads by 19 pins as she steps up in the 6th frame. Her maximum score would be 265 if she takes it off the sheet with all strikes. Carolyn Dorn Ballard, max score 246.
And Kelly going high on the left lane, leaving the 6th pin.
So if you don't understand it, for those of you at home, that is how we're calculating the plus or minus. Kelly leads by 19 before that shot because her max score was 265. Carolyn's max score was 246. Difference of 19 pins. So that's how we're doing it, just so you can follow along at home. Kelly Kulick going to convert the 6 pin.
Kelly is a not only a student, but she also coached 12 years at the Dick Richter's bowling camps. She also said that she retains more when she's coaching somebody else than when she's being coached.
And I believe that that's true.
I do too. I totally agree with that. I think you hear yourself saying it, and I think you really take more in by doing that than when someone's telling you.
It's also easier to see what that person's doing versus seeing what you're doing, so you associate things a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Coaching. Carolyn, Dorn, Ballard in the 6th frame. Ooh, light again. 2-4-5.
She may have to make an adjustment.
WIBC big sponsors, and this is their event. Roseanne Kuhn, the executive director of the Women's International Bowling Congress, on hand. A great supporter of the PWBA and women's bowling.
And a great lady.
Yes, she is.
Spare maker telling us how to shoot the 2-4-5. Common leave when you come up light. She takes the plastic ball right at it. Perfect.
Now, Carolyn was pretty actually disgusted at the end of last year after being runner-up for the 4th year, and she said for the first time she really did not even want to bowl.
No, she actually said she was a little distraught because she was so close again to being Player of the Year, wound up getting runner-up, and she took a little bit of time off, and now she said, after taking a little bit of a breather, I feel refreshed. And of course, she comes out once again and proves that taking a little breather isn't such a bad thing, leading the Queens. Hardest tournament, I believe, to lead and win. And she comes back with a great shot. Five-step approach, solid at the line, really came through that one. Perfect, 10 in the pit. No doubt about it. Did she like it? What do you think?
You asking me? Absolutely. She loved it. Kelly Kulick, we mentioned, a graduate of Moorhead State. She graduated with a degree in physical ed and health ed, K through 12. Very athletic lady.
Yes. Coming up high again on the right lane, leaving the 3-6-10. One thing we want to point out is when she did her interview, let's take a look at her real quick. She comes up a little high, jumps. Lucky that the 7-pin actually got tapped. And this is how you can make the 3-6-10, which isn't an easy spare.
The arrow obviously being where the ball needs to go.
Yes.
The ball will hit the 3-6 and the 10-pin ideally.
Perfect shot.
Or the 6 will hit the 10. But if you're throwing a light plastic ball, it could deflect and
Yes.
it could take out all 3 too.
Yes. But we noticed yesterday during Kelly's interview, she has very big hands. And I
Yes.
noticed that, and I said, you have very big hands, but that's why she is so powerful with her release. Not many women have big hands, and that's why she gets so much power and rotation on her ball.
Well, if you think about it, her hand is so much farther around the ball.
Yes.
It is easier for her to get that rotation, but she made a conscious choice, and there's a look at her grip. As a young child, she wanted to hook the ball like that, and she said, went to Dick Ricker and said, teach me how to hook it like
Yes,
that.
she says, I want to throw it like a man.
And we are in the age today when a woman can do whatever, obviously, a man does. And it's great to see that the kids coming up today know that they can do it and go out and
Absolutely.
pursue it.
Absolutely.
Carolyn stepping up in the 8th frame, and she's working on a strike. Now leads by 2 pins.
That was another great shot.
Oh, but the 7-pin not going to go down.
Yeah, still a little light on that right lane where everyone else keeps coming up a little bit high. But that's, like I said, that's good because you can make the single pins.
It's smart. She's probably cautious.
Yes, and not only that, but you never want to give the pocket away, regardless of the condition, but especially when it's a little more challenging, such as this.
Oh, my.
She's not going to miss it twice.
Covered it up this time. We talked a little bit about Carolyn's acceptance of being second. She told us what she thinks.
Yes, I've come to peace with being second 4 years in a row. I think it shows a sign of consistency, and I'm always in the running. I also realized that last year there was a lot that went on in my personal life with people suffering with breast cancer and my father having a little bit of a rough year. And you know what? It made me realize that I need to take pride in what I accomplish and don't worry about what I don't.
Important lesson, but I'm not sure she totally learned it. It's a hard one to learn when you're out here.
Sure it is.
You always want more.
Absolutely. I think when the day comes when you don't want more is the day you might want to go part-time or think of retirement.
You're exactly right. I can speak on that subject, Kathy.
Great shot by Carolyn, though, to keep her head above water.
As she mentioned, breast cancer, the WIBC and PWBA in partnership with Susan G. Komen, Carolyn actually raised $1,000 in the bowl for the cure herself over this break. A lot of the ladies active in that. Kelly Kulick up by 18 pins in the 9th. Has a strike in the 8th, and disaster.
Again on the right lane.
4, 6, 7, and Kathy, I want to see the little spearmaker that says how to make this.
Well, she looked like she got it right at the right time, nice and aggressive, but I just think the track is starting to really burn on the right lane. The ball's going to jump. The further she gets it right, the harder it's going to jump back. She can certainly get it right regardless of how deep she is.
She'll just take 2 here because there isn't a spearmaker for this unless she gets lucky and bounces a pin out.
Right. That's the type of split you want to just get the wood.
Especially she was working on a strike. Those 2 pins give her 4 bonus pins.
Kelly did mention, though, she had to make major adjustments during the week. Quick adjustments and big moves. She didn't just make a 2-in-1 adjustment. She said sometimes she had to move zones.
Well, Kelly Kulick here, the best she can shoot is 199. If she strikes out, she can force Carolyn Ballard to throw the first strike in the 10th frame. Max score, as you can see, Carolyn Ballard on pace if she goes off the sheet to shoot 213.
Nice shot by Kelly.
There's number 1. She was on Team USA for 3 years, and credits Palmer Falgren and Fred Borden also for a lot of coaching help with her.
Well, Fred, he's just a fountain of knowledge. What doesn't that man know?
I don't think there is anything. You're right.
I don't think so either. Her mom's here with her.
Carol Kulick on hand.
She said her mother was a nervous wreck yesterday. I could see why.
Big shot.
Oh, great shot. She couldn't have thrown that any better. She wants to bowl another game.
So the rookie putting the pressure a little bit to the veteran.
Beautifully off her hand. Look at the power at the release, so smooth. I mean, that was just picture perfect. I don't think many guys could have thrown it better than that. Beautiful game for a power player. She's so smooth. I like that.
Carolyn not watching at all. She's telling herself what she needs to do.
Beautiful finish by Kelly.
And that count's going to help a little bit. Carolyn strikes, she'll just need a decent pin count after that. But she must have this strike, first strike here in the 10th, or we go to another championship match, because as we mentioned, Carolyn would have to be defeated twice.
This is what it's all about, Jan. The mental toughness, the hard work comes down to this. Beautiful shot. And she gets it.
Oh, and she's tight again, and the 7 goes down this time.
The pin that gave her so much trouble early on in the match.
She would need 8 on this shot to throw no other balls and win.
Great shot right off her hand. Makes a little turn left. She's been coming up light, just can't. She loved it. You think she loved it?
Wow. We didn't even need a mic on her. Big shot. Still a big shot. Needs to stay in the pocket.
She wanted it.
Husband Del Ballard, big breath of relief. Sister Kathy, Dorn Lizzie crying next to me. Carolyn Ballard is the 2001 Queen's Champion. Stay with us for her crowning. You won't want to miss it. Carolyn Dorn, Ballard's etched her mark in WIBC Queen's history. Final score 213 to 197. Joyce Deitch and Roseanne Kuhn of WIBC present trophy, tiara, and check. Join us again next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the finals of the St. Clair Classic right here on ESPN2. For Kathy, Dorin, Lizzie, I'm Jan Schmidt saying thanks to all the moms out there for all you do. So long from Fort Lauderdale. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.